This is the Playposit for Beginners version 2.0. In the first video, we just walked through the steps of creating a bulb or a video and then turning it into a QR code that your students can scan just to watch the video. In this video, we're going to walk through the steps of embedding questions or interactions, as they're called, in Playposit throughout the video that your students will have to stop and respond to along the way. So I would recommend watching the video at least twice before going through the steps. Once to get the gist of the video, then a second time to go through and kind of make a note of where exactly along the way, the exact timing, where you want to plant those questions. And maybe, jotting down what exactly they're going to be, just so you don't have to go back and play the video again and again and again and again. So I've watched this video already, and I know that the first question I want to appear at about 40 seconds. So I'm going to drop the little dot on the scrubber bar down here, and then I'm going to click Add an Interaction. So for the beginner version of the video, we're going to just walk through these 6 different question types. Multiple choices, obvious. You're going to set the correct answer that your students can choose from a list. It gives them feedback with that one. It tells them if they're correct or incorrect before they move on to the next question. For free response, that's open-ended, so they're going to write their own answer, and then they submit it, and it just says that the teacher has received it or it's been submitted. It doesn't say if it's correct or incorrect. The poll, they get to choose their opinion or how they feel about something. There's no right or wrong answer. Check all is where you can set check boxes, and they can check all that apply. Fill in the blank is just that. Discussion I haven't really dabbled with very much. I know that it's a sidebar that appears as the students watch the video, and if they're doing it in real time at the same time as other kiddos, they can have a discussion along the way. Like I said, I haven't used that one yet, but I do like this one under annotations called the pause. So that's a good one for if you don't necessarily need them to respond to the question, but you want them to have a place to stop and think about it and reflect before moving on to another section of the video. So first one I'm going to plug in is multiple choice. I'm going to type in my question here. And then I'm going to click on the first one because that's the correct answer. If you click on Advanced underneath the question, you'll see some more options below. These 2 are always defaulted to check. They're checked off. So the interaction is always required, meaning they can't bypass the question without answering it. And then the interaction pauses the video, so it doesn't keep playing while they're answering the question. I like to check this one too. Learners can rewind after reaching this interaction, so when they get to the question and maybe they needed to revisit the information right before the question, or maybe they weren't paying attention, it's spaced out a little bit, they can go back. Then I'm going to click Done to save it. You can also give them more than one opportunity to respond, and then you can randomize the answer orders. I usually leave those alone, and then I'm going to click Done. So you'll see your interactions line up here in sequential order, and you can drag and drop them. You can click on the 3 dots and go back in and edit. You can change the point value here, so if you want to weight that one a little bit more heavily. You can duplicate it if, let's say, you want to ask a similar question, just kind of tweak some of the answers a little bit. You could do that. You could add interactions before and after, or you could delete it here. I'm going to add another one. This time I'm going to put right about here, 1:20, a free response. So the question will be, what advice does she give you? And I will make sure I check that learners can rewind option. And click Done. And now I can see where I can have my sequence here planned out. And then down along the timeline, you'll see anytime you place an interaction, there's a little pin. do one more. I'm going to add in a pause. So there's no answer spot here because the kiddos don't have to respond. They just stop and think at this point. So I'm going to ask, have you ever had, whoops, writer's block? What did you do? So I have 3 questions in here. I'm ready for my students to watch the video. I can click review and then preview. So now this will give me a URL at the top of this new tab here that I can copy and paste into a QR code generator. I use this one, the qrcodegenerator.com. Anyone will do. Now, if your kids scan this QR code, the questions will pop up as they watch the video on their iPad, but whatever they respond, however they answer, you won't be able to see it. If you would like to see how they have responded, you'll want to go through and link this in Schoology. If you're happy to do it this way, then you can stop here.